don't know we're birds, so we're not flying. And that's what you're gonna be if you go to this school. Because they're not trying to have you fly. First off, they're not trying to have you soar to your height.
That's right.
They have an agenda. The educational system has an agenda. They have a certain amount of jobs, and they want you to go in a certain direction because they need you to fill these 21st century jobs.
No, that's not even it.
No, it's not that they want you to fill the jobs. They've already put you in prison. They've already put you in jail. You are feeling a whole different dynamics. There's only this small of a window for you to be a taxpayer.
Right.
Wow.
The taxpayer thing only gives you one season of income for this system. So get that right. You're going to be a nice little black person and go to work, come back, stay in your box, you pay your taxes, and that's what you get.
Wow.
That's right.
But if you're talking about soaring, soaring, we create everything that happens in this world.
Right.
We're on top of everything. But only one person gets to be a true success at a time. They're not letting all of us get out there and be successful. That would be too much.
Yes.
It's not gonna be like that. Because when I was in the school district, I was the best. And I didn't understand what was going on, why nobody wanted to help me move forward.
They didn't need to help you.
They didn't need me. And guess what?
They did need your data.
I saw other people come in from other black people, come from other states and get hired just like that. Because it's not important to have local black people be employed here. Because if you did, you would represent our community.
Change the dynamic.
You would change the dynamics. They hired all the black people in the world from another state every day. I can tell you, I probably know about 30 young women and men who have been hired in the past 6 months. They're from other states. They don't know anything about Sacramento's history. They don't know anything about our culture. And when they leave on holiday, they go back to their people. That's how it works. So it's not so much that, and I just appreciate what's happening here because all this is wells up inside of you. And you know all these truths. And you think, who do I tell it to?
Right.
I've gotten to the other side of the mountain. I don't care if they ever give me a job. A job is not something I'm seeking because I can learn how to live on 2,000, 3,000, whatever it is, in due season. Nobody can stop me from excelling. But what it is you got to free your mind.
That's it.
You know that song, Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow? That was the song back in the day.
But that is so real. And we have to have a shift in our thinking as a people for us to soar, like you said.
Right.
It's a paradigm shift.
Because guess what? We are the eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
We the eagles, and we in a country with a whole bunch of chickens.
Yes.
But we don't know.
Right, we think we're chickens.
No, we
We
think.
don't
Over here acting like chickens. And
No,
we
we
eagles.
think we're.
We the creators.
Yeah, we think we're something
I
else.
wish I could just take every black person and we just go to Africa and look at the tombs,
Right.
the hieroglyphics, and we go ahead and get our real history together so you'll understand our greatness and how powerful we are. I mean, you're talking about a 7-ton slab of granite, smooth as glass, stacked up. 70 stories, 70 feet. And they can't figure out how it got there.
So why there ain't no black architects if we could do that?
But that's the point. They ain't
Why
gonna do
would-
that. So what they do? You
There are.
dumb down the people.
But
if you
there-
dumb them down,
There are.
you don't give them their greatness.
There are.
They
And
lock
how?
up for being
See, I know how to
schizophrenic
brainwash
and-
people now. I can
and things
brainwash
like
a
that.
group.
Trust me.
Take their history away from them.
But they are. I mean, even when you get the credential or the degree, then you still have to get a job at Walmart
Yep.
or Target or Payless because
On purpose.
you're overqualified for every job you participate. I mean, think about it. Now, why would the overseer give you their job?
For their child.
Because I mean,
for their child.
because
I think that's the key
I was
point.
talking to a young man at a college fair, and he said to me, he said, I'm working for the track coach. And I said, what do you mean you're working for the track coach? This is what I do. I said, and what does he do? He said he's going to give me a job after I finish. I said, well, why would he give you the job that he's supposed to do? Let's get it real. It is not about you. The only thing is about you is how can they keep you where they need you? As long as you stay, that's where you'll be. And they will have their job overseeing you as long as you don't attend these public meetings. Like I said, I keep on telling people, you got to go to the LCAP meeting. They're determining how the money is supposed to affect the kids who are underachieving. Those are your kids. You're connected to them. How do you change the paradigm shift for the kids who are failing? You have to determine who will work with those children. If you never show up, everything is cool.
You don't have to work.
You-
You won't be one of the people that
You
work.
won't be one of the people who are changing the dynamics for those kids. If you don't go to city council meetings and they decide to change something that affects you in your neighborhood, in your box, that's okay. You weren't part of the process. When they gave the contract to the white boy down the street, he just gets the contract because nobody said anything. It didn't affect their community. It did in a sense that their people are being employed. But in the sense that who is the job provider, it's not you. And you're still going to them to ask them for what? A job? They will let you do the job and take the credit. And that is how it's always been. They need you just so much more to come and give input. Like what Sac City is doing right now, they're having parent meetings. They have a list of about 7 items they would like you to choose from, a la carte, of what we should continue to do. Is it going to change the dynamics for the kids in the school? No way. Why? Because the system is broken. It doesn't work. They're not teaching our kids about who they are. They don't have to because we're not holding them accountable. We have the right as individual citizens. We need to know that this world is based on individualism. It's about you when you show up. But if you never show up, it ain't about you. It's about those who have the jobs already.
It's a deep system, and that's what I'm excited about when I come here to meet with you guys, your family. You know, we come here and talk about our ancient history. We talk about what's real now, and this is the kind of thing we have to continue to do. Stay plugged up. Stay plugged up to truth and what's really going on.
That's true.
Because I was asleep a long time, and I was buying into all the propaganda, the hype. I believed that there was a such thing as American dream, and then I woke up and found out it's American nightmare. It's not no American dream. It's a false thing, American dream. What it really is about us understanding who we are, developing our greatness, and sharing that information with our family and friends and loved ones, waking them up. That's why we talk to the youth, giving them a voice in here, because you guys are the strength. Y'all the future. Y'all the warriors. It's a reason that you take the warrior class and you eliminate them in a war. See, if I get rid of you guys, because you guys going to be powerful, y'all strong, I get rid of y'all. So I got systems for you. Dumb you down in school, make you feel inferior, make you feel like you ain't smart, put some labels on you, ship you to prison. Then what happens? You just got women at home, and they have kids. What's going to happen? Now the women are raising all the men. They're raising the kids, just women. Women, where the men? They can't learn how to be a man. Why? Because they ain't got no men there with them.
But it's been that way since slavery time.
It's been going on.
It's not, nothing's
It's
ever
been going on.
changed.
Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, and so Journey Truth, I mean, she said that she could have freed more slaves had they known that they were slaves. And that, huh? Harriet Tubman.
We
Yeah,
know what
okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
We know what you're
Look,
talking
see,
about.
I didn't learn my history either, but there's a reason. And I don't want to spend too much time in the past because today is relevant. So you guys know. And so did she free many? No. Are there still many people who just want to get the welfare check and don't want to come out and participate in the system because it's just overwhelming for them? Yeah.
Yes.
And so, the whole thing is that until you're ready to cross the border and say that I'm responsible for me, and if it's going to happen to me, I'm going to go see what's going on. It just doesn't happen every day. It's hard to get to a meeting. You make time in a day so that you can go to the meeting to find out what they're doing. Because there are so many issues in our communities. And the only people that are overseeing us is law enforcement, welfare agencies, Department of Social Services. I mean, there's no black agency that oversees public services for black people.
What I want to encourage
how do you fix
what I
that?
want to encourage you is
Step up.
I mean, why do you
Actually
fix-
go. Because the
I mean,
more
how do you
people...
fix having black folks over black folks in our community?
Well,
The money is coming in.
I think that what you did, the conference that we went to recently, the one you had with the speaker, was an excellent, excellent beginning. And I'd like to get more people to attend because sometimes the banquet is said, sometimes I'll have a beautiful meal and I'll have it all cooked for my son, and he don't come home. I thought, well, what's wrong with that Negro? I mean, I make dinner, I cook, and I just pack up the food and put it in the refrigerator, and he'll come in when he wants to and get the little bit of this and a little bit of that. But it was hot and it was beautiful, and he didn't come home. We have to spread out a lot of times for our people. They don't show up. But I think what I'm finding that we have to do is have these generational meetings where we all begin to get on one page. Because it's so important to hear our history and to allow each person to have a part in the conversation.
I agree.
And when we have the young people speak first here, they're thinking and rethinking, and we're building a community of inclusion that can't be stopped. This meeting has been going on for several months, and the young people can't get them out of their seat. They come here like droves, because they get to speak first before any of us old people, and they get to share their ideas, and they're learning the history, and they're having an opportunity to hear this is how it was in Africa. I have to believe it was like this, that we all shared common
That's
dialogue.
exactly how they learned together. They did everything as a group.
Together, as a group.
That's right.
Did that answer your question somewhat? Or were you trying to, were you?
No, it's a very serious question for me because you do a lot of things. We talk, we know what the problems are, but how we began to solve the problems. We talked about, I know my first job when I was in college, working on a playground at Lakeview Elementary School in Oakland. And I did not have any African American children, and they went to Jewish school, they went to Hebrew school, and then they went to some church something. So they have things for they don't depend on the school to teach them Chinese history or Hebrew history. They teach it themselves.
That's right.
So and then I notice now that the Hispanics have a program that they're saying in the state of California that there are not enough medical people. So when they go to the hospital and
to transition.
They don't see enough people that look like them. So they have after school programs, and they also have programs where they get the curriculum in the school. And so they have kids who teachers are saying, and one guy said a principal told him, "You be an orderly." He told the teacher he wanted to be a doctor, and he couldn't see him being a doctor. But the Hispanics had this program. The kid came back, told them what it was. They assured him, and they say 100% of the kids who come to these programs after school graduate. And when they graduate from high school, they go to college. They have them get to college. They come back over the Thanksgiving holiday, over the Christmas holiday, in the summer, and report back to the group. They're not teaching kids to go and be successful and then you go on. You got to come back and give back to the community.
Beautiful.
And I'm saying, where are we? Where's our program? Where's our program? Now, I don't know if this is true, but I was told that if you look in the schools now, John Steele Elementary School, I tutored there last year. And the child that I tutored had many issues. So the teacher put him with the Hispanics who didn't speak English because she had 30 children and there was really too many for the different, they were just all lumped together regardless of what their skill level was or educational level. But the reason she put them with the Hispanics because there is a law that they can have a paid staff to work with Hispanics. So I was told that when the Hispanics went to the state legislature,
They advocated.
created a bill. So the bill lives on past them. And then I was told that the blacks never created a bill that lives on as to what's to happen to African American children who are not excelling in school.
No, we haven't. And
I my mouth fell open.
Hey, sister, they got an unwritten bill for the African American kids already. Prison.
Well, that's why all this conversation.
But my point of disappointment, if that was truly true, We had Willie Brown, we had Maxine Waters,
Okay.
we had Diane
The-
Watson, and all of the other
Karen Bass.
all
Yeah.
those people. There's not a bill.
Because
And we're happy to have them in those positions, but there's nothing to follow them when you've passed on.
Well, I think that Holly Mitchell has.
she wants to.
I mean, just listening to y'all, you know, just reminds me of the lack of self-knowledge. Everything, we got these senators, Maxine Waters was in Inglewood, I met her. Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge of how to organize ourselves together. And I think the main point that you're trying to get to is like, well, how do we get to the step where we're organizing ourselves and we've thought this through. And in my opinion, I think what we are doing right here with this Sankofa consciousness group and the other, because there's people all around the world, trust and believe, there's people all around the world doing this right here, you know what I'm saying? In one form or another, you know, you can feel it. You know, there's people doing this. So I think it comes upon us to create that. You know, it's something that we're gonna have to sit, brainstorm about, come up with some sort of outline, action plan, implement it, observe it, and correct whatever mistakes we see. But in my opinion, that's what it's gonna come to, you know, because you're talking about action. And just listening to y'all, how you were just saying they hired all these black people from other states. Again, they obviously are using a tool,
Tactics.
and it's called ignorance.
Yeah.
They play and use your ignorance because they know those black people have no connection to the black economical community in Sacramento, and they purposely hired them because of that. So now they're taking dollars again out of our community by hiring black people who have nothing to do with it. So again, they use ignorance.
Right, and it's
So the more we can come together. I would be down to, you know, try to work on an action plan where we could create something.
But it's actually, we have a black caucus, but we don't have, the black caucus represents no one, not black community, because by your zip code, your representative is white or Asian. And so when you try to meet with them, they don't meet with you. And that's why locally, we have to elect people who represent us. But we have to show up first. And how do we show up when we're so used to being in the box? See, the plantation was bad on black America because the ones who knew they were free knew how to protect their children, knew how to move forward. But the ones who were enslaved, who had no knowledge, were still on the plantation. And that's why I said the plantation is real. It exists. And people who don't know how to access resources really can't access resources. They are rules followers. They want to follow the rules so that they don't get locked up. And so the only way we change this is this dynamic right here, this think tank, this possibility of creating an action plan, of duplicating each one of us. That's why it's important to bring more people to this meeting and not to feel uncomfortable because of the dialogue, because we have a lot of kids who don't know who they are, who have the gay tendencies that may not be gay. But the real issue is that they don't know how to be a man, and if you don't know how to be a man, you can't be a man. And if you've never been independent and you've always relied on your mother, most likely you're going to continue to rely on women. So you'll be a womanizer. But what tools do you have? What tools do you have to be independent when you're depending on the white man for the job? And so, you know, we have to have these conversations because they depend on us to provide us services. We do not hold them accountable for the services that we get, because it is important that we hold people accountable for the public education system. Let's just not talk about school because of school, but talk about school because it's where we have to get to hold people accountable.
Let Cornell get his thought out real quick.
Last week I was talking about why did Osama bin Laden plan the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers with World Trade Centers, the White House, and the Pentagon. And I just realized that when I was talking about the weak spots in the U.S.,
Yes.
those three areas, those four areas where the biggest strengths that if they were established would be used against them. withstand another attack. But what that showed me was that the things that control the U.S. and every decision they make, every possible thought, every possible outcome that could be a threat to other people or other countries was taking place in those buildings.
Yes,
or in those,
structure, the power structures. All those with the power structures.
I was always told hit the most powerful player in chess always hit the king.
That is it, it's a
Chess
chess game.
like
It's a
chess.
chess
That's
game.
real good. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I just want to say, I just want to remind us that the system's not broken. You feel me? The system's working exactly how
It's
the
working
system
exactly the way it's supposed to.
There's nothing.
I applaud that because it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's the beast.
Exactly.
Now,
Now, hold on. I had to keep going on that. And so, there's no fixing to take place within the system. You feel me? There's no kind of reform that can happen if you understand the system as being a system of racism, a system of white supremacy. You have to understand that the nature of people who call themselves white or who have an interest in racism is to dominate and oppress all other colored people, and especially on top of everything, black people. And so building up a community or something within a system of racism, you're becoming a target. You feel me? Because the whole purpose of people who practice racism is to destroy your movement, you're building up.
Yes.
So the number one focus has to be either separating yourself from the system somehow, or taking that system down, not fixing the system, but destroying that system has to be the number one priority.
That brings me to the point of the purpose of the Sankofa. The purpose of this workshop is to awaken the African mind. We lost our African mind. That's the problem. We over here in the United States, we lost our African minds. Because if you think about the original mindset that came to this country when they was kidnapped and brought here, they were thinking differently than they do today. I said earlier that we are suffering from the
Stockholm syndrome.
And some people didn't know what that was. Go look that up, Stockholm syndrome. That's what's wrong with the blacks in the United States today. That's the Stockholm syndrome. You know, we're embracing the oppressor. So, you know, that's our challenge. So we gotta wake our minds up, get back to our who we are, so we can know the great things that we can do. So that's why we encourage the young people to bring forth messages, teaching them how to have a voice, so they can be empowered, because I know they're getting beat up in school, whooping you. You can't get up off the canvas. Every time you try to lift up, they hit you with an uppercut.
Oh, one thing I want to say too, I think everybody should check out that book by Neely Fuller.
By
He
who?
wrote Neely Fuller. He got the textbook for victims of racism, white
Let me
supremacy.
get that name. What's that name again?
Neely Fuller.
Neely?
Neely Fuller Jr.
N-E-A-L.
Neelyfuller Jr. And he talk about because a lot of people talk about racism. Some people think racism is when somebody calls you a nigga. That's not racism. You feel me? You got to understand the system like you understand capitalism. Because there's a method to it. It has a function. And you know, once you understand it, he talks about how it works in all 9 areas of people activity, from economics to politics to sex to religion. And he talks about how this system of racism works in all of those areas. Everybody under the system of racism, white supremacy, no matter if you're black, white, or whatever, you either think, speak, and or act to perpetuate white supremacy, or you think, speak, and or act to reject it and eliminate it. And it's a powerful book. You check that out.
Go ahead, young man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with Mr. Fuller. You know, I'm not new to, you know what I mean, to all the stuff you've been sharing so far. I just hadn't seen Living Colors 2 yet. I do have 1. But I mean, I've been studying our problem for like 14 years. And so I cannot bullshit young people. I just got to tell them straight up. All right? It's not just school. You know, school is just one thing that they deal with. They got to deal with the bus driver. They got to deal with the shop owners. And then their parents, when they go home, dump some shit on them as well.
That's right.
So my thing with the youth, especially when I deal with males, 80% of your problems going to be connected to a female. Let's just get that straight right now. Not no white man, not no white woman, not his system. But some woman you're going to be dealing with. No matter if she black, white, red, brown, don't matter. 80% of your problems gonna be connected to her. You got to learn how to see about yourself. We owe you an apology. We fucked up. We blew it. We sold out for jobs in the 60s and the 50s.
I agree.
And that's why you don't have a factory to work for now or Roy and Sons company to go, do your apprenticeship.
That's right.
We blew it. We don't even apologize to y'all for it, but you should be demanding an apology before you listen to a black person
I've
who's
been
older than you.
apologizing, brother, because I'm right where you at. I've been telling them.
That's what I'm talking
I said,
about.
we blew it.
We blew it.
Yes, we did.
So you should be asking for an apology first. We should have had banks for you to go get money from, factories, farms, the whole nine. So we blew it. All right, but the point is, your life is about you. You have to figure out how to see about yourself.
How is 80% of the problem?
Where your father?
How is 80% of the problems connected to a female?
Yeah.
Or you can go talk to guys in jail, they'll tell you. About 80% of them, when I talk to them, connected to a female.
It's not that it's connected to the system because the white man has connected the
Every day
system.
he's connected to the system, so we
But
know that.
I'm
That's
just saying the
default.
district attorney is going to tell you have to pay the child support, and that's just going to turn you into a slave to the system.
Hold up.
The
No
whole
black male should be paying child support.
But-
Oh, no.
but-
you wrong right
but-
there.
No.
I mean, everybody has.
Under a system of racism, white supremacy,
But what I
he's already a victim.
but what I want
He is already a
Let the
victim.
brother finish.
yeah.
Like I said, I've been studying this for 14 years. I'm telling you. You already a victim. So you're going to ask a victim now to pay child support. Let me finish. You know he don't have a job, and you're going to file a case against him, and you got one.
It's just.
Hold it. No,
Hold, let me
no,
finish.
no.
I pick women up testifying. Let me finish. I pick women up testifying against males all day, every day.
Of course.
Over the smallest thing. He cocked the shotgun. Now he got 16 years. He didn't point it at her. He didn't threaten her. He just cocked it. He got 16 years. All right, those stories go down all the time. I don't want you to take my word for it. Go down to Folsom State Prison and talk to him and ask him, why are you in prison? 80% of them are going to tell you it's connected to a female. Man, I was trying to grind because she said we needed money for the baby.
Right.
So I couldn't get a job, so she kept crying about the baby.
Right.
So I went out. Now you see how he's responding to me?
Hey, can I?
Because he knows it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
See, I can't bullshit because it's too serious out here for them. It's way too serious out here for them. Cannot bullshit them. Your life gonna be caught up most likely under a female. I don't care what color she is. It's just that simple.
Hold it. It's her turn.
Because after you, I want to
Right
go.
behind her. You
Yeah.
behind her,
Well,
Hassan. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I think everybody has a valid point, and everything we saying to me relates to an analogy, the fact that we are hamsters caught in a hamster wheel, because I understand where you coming from, because I have brothers, and they've told me this story.
That's right.
I mean, because when you don't pay the child support, I mean, you
That's
can't
your ass.
you can't get a passport.
That's right.
You can't leave the country,
After
and you didn't have a job, no way. So you
And let's
already.
tell the truth.
You
Can
can't-
a black man decide whether or not she's gonna keep that baby? Can he say to her, look, I don't want you to have that baby? Can he make that claim and make that stick? As soon as she gets pregnant, it's her decision.
Okay.
So it's your property. You own it.
Okay.
You take care of it.
And then see, my whole point is, again, it's the hamster wheel. Because you put the man, I mean, not paying it. First off, you didn't have the money to pay the child
That's
support,
right.
and now you in chains because of this child support.
That's
but then
right.
on the flip hand side, she asked out too because she need the help. So again, we in a hamster wheel.
Right.
She going
I
out. She
agree.
going
I
off.
agree.
Okay. All right.
Wait, I'm saying it really is a hamster wheel.
It
It don't
is.
turn. This system of welfare has turned the black woman and the black male into enemies of each other.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Of each other.
Thank you.
Look at how he feel about it. Look at how you feel
Thank
about
you.
it.
That's a great
I'm
point.
like, dang, I mean, I feel the anger from both sides, and,
Right.
and you're looking at each other like you do better. Looking
Right.
at her like you
Right.
do better. It ain't neither one of y'all really
Right.
is the issue.
I agree.
And both sides are hurt and hindered and can't do nothing.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking. I mean,
Okay.
explain that the system itself is
Okay.
crazy. I mean, he can't do
I
nothing.
understand what you
He
got.
can't
I
even
know
get-
where y'all at.
He
When
can't
you
even
laying
get
down
jobs.
getting that ass, you ain't thinking about that.
No, don't
Of
do
course
that.
Oh no, we gonna know. You want to keep it real? Keep it real.
Let him
Don't
talk.
talk no bullshit. Don't talk
Let
no
him-
bullshit if you ain't gonna keep it real.
Let him talk.
Man's laying down getting that ass. He ain't saying that.
Hold
That's
on,
right.
hold on.
Baby, I love you.
I agree.
Okay, but you reached out and touched me like AT&T without a calling card. You just trying to keep it real. Don't you want to keep it real? Talk that shit. Talk the shit correct.
It take two to do that.
Let's keep your dick in your pants.
Nah, man, don't do that.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's real. But go ahead. Come on. Start. Go ahead. Start. Come on. Start. Go ahead. Start.
All right.
Go ahead, Hassan.
Okay, I'm tired of y'all 30 and overs silencing us. Y'all been doing it for like 5 minutes in here, and y'all been doing it for years, okay? 30 plus need to quiet down for a minute because I'm watching it go on in my community.
I agree.
So stop hold up in me, okay? First things first, with this women man thing, it's nothing different than what they was doing, ripping us apart in front of our women and children in slavery.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Same concept, everything. Y'all getting employed easier so a woman can sit there and condescend on us and tell us you ain't you feel me? And we gotta take that.
That's right.
We gotta court the woman. We gotta do everything in our power to even show that we're even up to par. But the white man, he ain't gotta do nothing but stroll in with his suit.
Yes.
Black man walk in with his suit, woman automatically think, oh, he doing something wrong.
Yeah.
He up to something. How did he get in there? You know what I'm saying? And it's all a system. And even this argument we having right now is just a part of it.
we're not arguing. It's a dialogue.
Discussion. Go ahead.
This is dialogue.
We got a little high.
This is dialogue.
That's
This
okay.
dialogue.
That's
That's
all
okay.
good.
Let me hold that thought real quick.
Let me
What it is,
explain the
brother,
camera.
Is we got a venue to release.
Right.
The people are full.
That's
And
it.
now we got an opportunity to get it out, which is good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to seem angry at nobody. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
Hey, Hassan, I like you better when you were angry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't express yourself.
the black woman and the black man, we need to stop looking at each other. We need to start looking at what's around us.
The system.
We here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it happens. I don't know why it happens. But for some reason, the black woman feels like they need to involve the white man into our relationships. And they talking about that child support. Okay, he right to an extent. You know what I'm saying? When he said the whole part, it's your responsibility. No, it's our responsibility. That's how I feel about it. I mean, the man was saying what he said about, you know,
You
he wasn't
choose.
saying it.
You choose.
Yeah, but it's a dual choice.
It is a
You
dual
know what
choice.
I'm saying? It's not one person participating in that. And it's not one person participating in the arguments that cause you to feel like you need to call the white man into your relationship. Why
Yeah,
are you
I
going to
agree.
call the slave master in to separate our family?
Thank you. The
And that's what needs
plantation.
to, that's what needs to be addressed by
Yes.
our female black leaders. We need to stop slamming our black men. We need to start letting them know that it is a system and we already are victims. Not necessarily to the extent to where we don't need to take care of ours as men.
I agree.
However, but when we are facing hardships, it should be less propaganda towards where your job at, and more propaganda to, I know that there's a system against y'all to where y'all can't get a job, so you be home and take care of the children, and I will go work. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it was in the 60s. That's how it was in the 60s.
You know,
But
let's give him a hand for that point. That's an excellent point.
but I have
That point you brought out there
to.
is what you said and what this lady said. The system is on purpose.
It's
It's
intended.
working.
It's right. It is working.
It's working.
And I would say that's how it was in Africa.
Yes.
So that's the importance in part of Sankofa, so we can really reconnect and be realigned with who we are as a people.
Yes.
Right. And our purpose too. Our purpose is to save our children. So you can't say, "Oh, woman, you don't need a dime because now I have a child with you." But what you have to say is, I told my boys, when you have one, you better be able to take care of it. I have a 30-year-old. He is not a parent. I have a 27-year-old. He is not a parent. I have a 16-year-old. He is not a parent. And they're still finding themselves to be free Americans. The system will, the man hired people to take care of this issue. And yes, the dysfunction is still going on. So they hired you so you can get in the midst of it and perpetuate the system. There's nothing provided to educate people to where I educated my boys freedom. It's not about that. It's about continuing the need for the jobs to manage behavior when people can't manage. If you can't manage it, the man got something for you. So go ahead. Anytime you can't manage your behavior, somebody got some act right for your ass. So you will go to jail.
That's right.
Somebody's going to manage you. And on the plantation, when you messed up, they gave you 50 lashes.
Yep.
They reminded you that you live in the system and that you will act right. So the only way we change this is to empower you so that you don't have to get in that situation. Don't get a young girl pregnant. Cover that shit up. You don't have to have a baby if you don't lose your mind. And so it is what Brother Man said. Cover it up because you're a partner in it. But once you created that life, understand that you have a responsibility to life. Yes. And then you make a partner to figure out whatever you got to do. And see, that's how come we have people out there selling their ass. Because whatever they got to do to eat and survive and take care of their children, they're willing to do. But the system has something for them. Because you can't make that free money without a cost. So either the brother's selling it or the young girl's selling it, but somebody's selling it because they can't read and write. And that's what we need to manage. We need to ensure that all people have the basic skills to participate in our society. And it is our responsibility in this room to go to the public meeting, to lobby. And that's why you said, how is it that we have elected officials who can't do it? Because they're elected. They're not the people. Nobody's going to the meetings. And if any of you had gone to state board meetings, I would have seen you there. If you had gone to the local board meetings, I would have seen you there. I wouldn't have been the only black person in the room and asking myself, where is my people? Well, hell, they're in the box, entertaining themselves with football, baseball, basketball. There's plenty of entertainment for you to keep your ass engaged away from overseeing who you are as a person.
Hold that thought. Young lady here got, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
You coming behind me.
Long time ago, I was pregnant. I have a kid already. But she only got 20 years old now. But I got pregnant the first time with my stepdad, because he was married to my mother. I got to wait on that count.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel, really. And he went to prison also for life.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
what he needed.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's where you need to be. The
That's what
system
he
does
needs
have
to
some
do.
get right for you.
Put the beast in there.
Go ahead, then I want to say something after you.
Okay, go ahead, young lady.
I just wanted to comment, kind of on what Hassan said, because I do feel that, and I feel everybody's energy. Y'all do yoga. So I'm over here like, I know, can we all take a deep breath together?
Yes, we can.
Wait to exhale.
Can we all, on the count of 3, can we take a deep breath? Because I want us all to get back
Jamie,
in
you set it off.
alignment. I want us all to get back in alignment.
I've been doing this a long time. This is what I do.
On the count of 3, everybody take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Hold it just a little bit and let it go.
That's that yoga in her.
That's that yoga, because I'm feeling everybody and I just want to, all this feeling we feel right now, okay, let's focus and channel it and uplift ourselves, because it is a system and it got us separated from each other. And I just want to express like how a female, because how a female must feel in a situation. You have a baby.
Yeah.
You have no security.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't. I know you feel when you say why you gonna bring the white man in it. You have a baby and you don't have any way to really handle this without that system.
But
and
you do if the oranges come into play. If the oranges come into play,
and that's what I'm saying.
you do.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need to
We
we need to get in on that resource so we have like some kind of security for these females, because the whole stress of it comes from the fact that you're just trying to maintain. And I feel you like, it's true, females do get jobs easier. But let me be the first to express, I could give a damn about a job. I would love to be a mother at home. I really would. The hell with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nothing from this system. You see what I'm saying? If I could homeschool my kids and that's all I did, I would be happy with that.
You're thinking like an African.
Great.
Thank you.
That's
So
the
my
African
whole
mind.
point, that's the attitude. I mean, if you want to work, cool. I can work from my house.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with that. Because just as a female, electromagnetic energy, you ain't even meant to be all up dealing with all these people anyway.
That's right.
Because they're attacking you and they're taking your energy, you know what I'm saying? So however we can empower the family to stay centered, you know what I'm saying? However we can empower men to do whatever they can do to support the family, that's what our focus should be. You know what I'm saying? Because we can go back and forth right now talking about everything he did, talking about everything she did. I don't even want to get into that. I want to get into that. I want to get into how do we do? How do we do together? Let's talk about how do we, okay, we got 3 kids. Okay, I want to stay home. Brother, what do I need to do for you? What phone calls do I need to make so that you can go do you and you come home, dinner made, and I'm chilling? You know what I'm saying? That's the attitude. So, like, let's brainstorm on that. I understand. I'm hearing all this talk go down to these city council meetings. Again, I'm with you. The system is what the system is, and it ain't my system, so I don't got no need to give a damn about anything that they doing. That's just really, honestly, how I feel. I don't want my kids in their system. I don't want my kids to have birth certificates. So what the hell do I care about what you doing with the public school system? Right. My kids ain't going. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know, I'm just like, let's just focus on, it's so many things we can tackle. Let's just focus on one thing first, the security of the house, the security of the family, and we can build everything else around that. But if we can work out some system where we got these sisters secure and all that stress is relieved, and we got these brothers feeling comfortable, you know what I'm saying, feeling righteous in their position, that's the first step. That's the first step.
I just want to say something really quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I am just so happy, like you said, that we have these Sankofa meetings because this is a platform for us to have this dialogue, and it's very important to hear everything that that's being brought out today. But most importantly, like Mr. West said, it's going to start with our young people, the future, and we have to educate them about sex, and if they're and not creating a child if they're not ready for it just yet. So, it's okay for our young men to be abstinent. That's okay.
Oh, I ain't gonna tell them that.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying.
I didn't tell him to do it, but
I'm just saying. Okay.
I ain't gonna go there with it.
Okay, no, I understand.
Get a vasectomy.
Yeah. No.
Then you don't have any.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying that.
I ain't gonna tell a young man don't have sex.
No.
She didn't say don't.
I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna tell him that.
I understand what you're saying.
Let's shout it.
I ain't gonna tell him.
She's not saying.
Well, I've been a young man before. I know what that is.
Maybe just choose. Maybe just be more choiceful.
Choice, exactly. And I said
Make a better decision.
Get a vasectomy.
Yeah.
That's your best bet.
Yeah. With the like Mr. West, with the television and everything, all the media and everything they see that's marketing, sex, that's all that's on the mind, for our young people, starting at a very young age, it's all around them. So I'm saying having this Sankofa project here on Saturdays, we have an opportunity to educate them, and let them know that you're just not gonna go out there and have sex if you're not ready, and the potential of the young lady getting pregnant, and being caught up in the situation. Right there, this is an opportunity to educate them, and so that's all I'm talking about, the education component, starting at a very young age.
You coming in? How are you slipping in? No, I just want to get this. I'm gonna do a fair and balanced because some people might not know. Is that when Massa brought us here, he had to destroy the warrior class. He had to destroy the protector. So that was the man. So what did he do?
He uplifted the woman.
He pulled us apart with horses. He was talking about it. Pulled us apart with horses in front of the woman. Castrated us in front of the woman. Beat us with the whip in front of the woman. Cut our necks off in front of the woman, hung us in front of the woman. He did all these things in front of the woman.
And gave the women jobs.
Let me finish. So he did all these things. Raped us. Raped our women in front of the man. Now, he took the man and did all these things to him, and then let's just fast forward. We moved forward to Reconstruction and all that.
Welfare.
Then he created systems to beat the man up some more.
Yep.
Welfare.
Welfare. All these systems. No. He empowered the woman. He let her go in and clean the house so she could make some money. The man couldn't go nowhere. He didn't have nowhere to go.
That's right.
The man was stuck because he kept beating him up, saying, "You a buffoon. You don't know nothing. You a dumb." Beat him up.
So wait a minute.
The woman accepting this because that's part of the system. You see that? He gave the woman power. She got a job. She's making money. The man ain't no good. Look at him. He's no good. the white man kept telling her that. Now, we move forward, put the man in prison, right? And then you miseducate him, he can't get a job. He can't work. And then when he goes to prison, he comes out, he's a felon. Can't get a job. He can't work. So the man gets out there, what he do? Hustle, do what he gotta do. But that's part of the system to keep him down. The woman, keep her empowered. He allowed her into the job. He allowed her to make the money. He allowed her to drive the car. Tricked her into the feminist movement. Wasn't for her.
Tricked it.
Wasn't for her. But now the woman who's ignorant and don't know that the system was made for her to be in that position, she gets the job, drives around her fancy car. I don't need a man. All I need is him to lay down and give me what I need. I can raise my own child. She's tricked in her mind, so we got to start empowering the real, true knowledge. Because we don't know what it's about. Most people don't know this stuff. If I run into the average young sister or brother on the street, we talk about these things, they don't know about this. That's why we got to do this Sankofa. Because they don't know. They don't know that's part of the plan. They don't know. They don't know. Most of them don't know. I talk to them all the time.
I gotta take it back to
No,
nature.
she's
No, it's Tony turn. It's Tony turn. It's Tony turn. Go ahead, Tony.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to put that out there and make sure
I don't
everybody,
know
we
where I'm
plugged
gonna go
in.
with what you
This is
said.
real.
Okay, well, the thing I'm gonna say is, you know, being that, you know, I was from Mississippi, Columbus, and I remember my grandfather was a carpenter. And I remember that when he had built all these places, and he had a mathematical mind and only a third grade education, he actually built many of the buildings that are still in Mississippi, still up. Columbus, Mississippi. So, I'm saying this to say that they fired him one day.
Because
And when they fired him, they hired a
teaching.
white boy to do the thing. And the boy didn't know how to do nothing. He had college education, whatever. So they came back and said, Mr. P. Thomas, could we have you back? He said, if I come back, you're gonna have to leave me alone, right? So it all goes back to the debate between Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Without skills, you are nothing. So forget about the man or the wife, right? The woman or the man. We have to be more entrepreneurish and develop our skills, because then we don't need anybody. Because when you take the dollar, you're gone. If you need them for anything, you're gone. So when I have my son and my daughters, I divorced, but I didn't call the people on them. You know, they did whatever they did, and I took care of my kids. So you're saying, bear it. You take all that responsibility, feed the kids, take care of it, figure out how you're gonna deal with your retirement, your illness, all on your own. And I'm gonna say that I don't think any human being should create a human being and not share equal part of that work. But if you don't have skills and you haven't invested in yourself, you can't help yourself or anyone. Because either way you put it, if it's your job and you don't have it, you don't have your health, you gotta depend on the system to take care of you. Because you can't take care of yourself if you never saved anything to take care of yourself. So I'm saying part of me, here I am 57, I don't have retirement. I have to be healthy in order to maintain my family and my life. So I mean, so some things are common sense. Even if we're in a foreign land, you have to have invested in your skills to be able to maintain you. Our system has to step in and take responsibility for you, whether they want to or not. It'll be prison. It'll be a prison in the end. So I'm saying no matter how you want to cut it, your daughter, your son, date somebody, and you had this idea that they're in your home and whatever, they're gonna fall into the system because there's not enough conversations in a day to redirect your children out of the system unless you have separated yourself and developed a lifestyle that brings balance to your life.
Yeah.
And that's really where I'm at. You have to take responsibility for every action you make.
Yeah.
And I'm saying there is a ripple effect. And I just think that, you know, thank God for Pete Thomas, because, you know, just last summer they tore down our house that he built and there was nothing wrong with it. The city wants it.
The city wanted the land.
They want the land.
Who?
The city.
The city wants the
I'm
land.
missing something. Who's who?
Pete Thomas?
My grandfather built a house. It's on the land. And I'm saying some of you guys have family that have land. The city, it sits by Women's College right down the street. They floored it. And I went down to Mississippi just the other day to take a picture of the land so my mother could see the land. But I'm saying, who do we think we are? we're here as enemies of the state. What could you possibly think that these people want with us, except income? That's the only reason
Revenue.
why.
Revenue generation.
We're just about revenue, sick, dead, or dying.
That's it.
That's it. We're revenue. Until you invest in your children, not just for college, but skills so that they can create income independent of the system, they're not going to be a part of it.
So Tony, talk about the revenue generation. She has to finish revenue generation. Finish it what you said to me on the way over here. If we're not over the revenue that our kids are generating in the public school system and ensuring that it's, what'd you say? That the money follows the student, we are not ensuring nothing. Our kids are still going to be revenue to the system. So that's where we have to change
I guess
this.
that's what she's saying. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, adults, I want the youngsters to say something. Jonathan first, and then I'm gonna come to Cornell. Because see, they here, and all this powerful energy is going through the air, so we gotta see if anything's filtering in here. So Jonathan, did you catch anything in all this discussion that's going on?
Oh yeah, I caught a lot.
Just give us a snapshot, brother. Give us a snapshot. How old are you, Jonathan?
I'm 16
See, I'm talking about 16. Give us a snapshot.
Alright, so going to the category of sex, how I feel about that is, well, my grandma always told me girls can make me crazy. I used to be that player, and I was moved to this system to where, you want to have the most beautiful girl, you want to have all these girls, but then also you're a kid seeking attention in this world to where your mom is not really there for you all the time, and your dad is in jail or dead.
Wow.
And the men in your family are doing their own thing, especially the older ones. They're pimping and hustling, and all you can do is crave for attention. So you go through these girls, and you go through these problems, and you go through these challenges, trying to learn life. And me, I lost my virginity when I was a young kid, but all I'm trying to say is, like, lust and love and partnership is what you really want, because partnership is what you need throughout this life. If it's not your mom that's helping you and that tutors you through life, then you need a best friend that'll help you live a long life, a best friend that you can keep your whole life to where you two are life partners, and that makes the best life for both of you. You don't need another girl, you don't need a side chick, you need that one partner. And you don't want to get lust confused with love, because it can really do some terrible things to your life and your heart, and you can fall pretty fast, and it'll be hard to pick yourself back up. It'll take years trying to forget about a girl at a young age when you're not supposed to be even thinking about girls. So what you do is you gotta take responsibility for your own things like a real man would, and you gotta pick and choose your fights, and you gotta know what's gonna happen if you take this road, what's gonna happen if you take that road, and you gotta be prepared for the worst and hope for the best.
Beautiful.
That's what I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let Cornell segue in here. Give me something, Cornell. I know you all this energy going on. I know some stuff on you.
Like what he said, prepare for the worst. I was just thinking, what is the system doing now that could make things far worse than what they already are for us and benefit them far better in the European Union or America, wherever in the world, it can benefit them but destroy us in the process.
Yeah.
And all this sexuality and porno on the computers and all this crazy games like the modern warfare, the new technology we are getting, and they're not using it as well as they should. And that kind of backfires against it. But they're always looking towards the future. They're not seeing what they left out, that we can just go in and take control of them. And if we take control of the technology they have, they won't have any more power. Right. That's what the technology America is today,
Yes.
and the world what it is today.
Amen.
And what you gotta say something?
And Cornell, you're right. You know, they want you to fall for these tricks.
Look at
The
these
power,
powerful minds.
the power is in their tricks. Everything, every step you take, they already got a trap for you, a trick.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tricks that you gotta avoid. That you're not gonna know where they're gonna come out of or what's gonna happen, where it's gonna lead up to. But you still gotta pick yourself up, grab your stuff, and you
Keep
gotta
on
make
stepping.
enough for it. And whatever happens, if the trick makes you fail, you gotta pick yourself back up, because everything happens when you pick yourself back up. That's a test of your power against theirs when you pick yourself back up after they then made you fall already.
Mhm.
And can I just add something, James, if you don't
Go ahead,
mind?
brother.
This has been wonderful. There's been so much energy, and I have done a lot of listening. By professional, I am an organizational psychologist, and it sounds like structure is needed with regard to how we move forward, because there was a lot said here. There was so much said here, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to just do some diagramming when I get home today. And if you don't mind.
No, you can go ahead. I'll be doing my part.
If you don't mind, because there were quite a few things going and flowing today, and they were very good questions. Like, sister, what's your name? With the beautiful green hair.
Tommy Whitlow.
Tommy Whitlow.
Tommy Whitlow. And you asked a question, and then it's been so much. So if I ask you, Tommy, may I? What was your main point today? What would you say?
My main point was that I have been trying for the last 10 years to get people who need involvement and have not been successful. And if someone has the answer, then I want to hear the answer, because until the young men talking about making decisions, of understanding, I believe that adults are responsible for whatever it is that's happening with our children, and that we make the difference. But how do we get us involved to make those differences, and to get the skills that we pass on? Because whether we come and get the information, we're creating a legacy. And it can be a good legacy or it can be a bad legacy. And I would like to be able to make a contribution that we know the legacy that we're making, because we've taught our children. For example, when I grew up, I was told, do it because I say do it. My grandmother, I learned through osmosis, I guess, of how to make the decision, but I was never taught to look at the pros and the cons and then decide what the consequence you were willing to deal with. I was never taught that. I did it because she said so. But it's a new paradigm. We keep throwing that word around. It's a new paradigm that children need to understand that. So basically, I was looking for, how do you do it? If we're going to really make a difference. Because, when I was a young girl on the playground, the kids went to Hebrew school, they went to Chinese school. And the white kids didn't come, and the other kids didn't come. I didn't have any black children on the playground. But they didn't depend on the teacher, the school system, to teach them Chinese, Hebrew. But they taught them that one day a week after school, so that their children were empowered to go back and learn, because you are created in the image and you are most powerful. You can learn. I was listening to it, and I showed it to anybody who wants to look at it. I have a young black guy. They told him what he couldn't do. We always have someone telling us what we can't do. You can't learn. And we buy into it. We buy into it because when we go home, my grandmother didn't have a third, barely could write her name. But she told me we had to sit at that table and act like we were doing homework.
Yeah, that's how we grew up.
The teacher tell you can't. You internalize it, but then there's nobody at home to say, oh, you can. What do you mean you can't? We were told there's no such word as can't. But that legacy somehow, when we start having babies, and my generation allowed the welfare system to come in and tell my daughter, who decided she didn't want to obey my rules, that you can have a baby and you can get your own place.
Yes, that's what happened.
So that's where we are in terms, in my assessment, of the problems that we have of babies haven't had babies. And someone told me it's about the 9th or 10th generation.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And then, Hassan, if you had to synopsize what this was about for you today, what was it about?
I mean, today, I heard some points on, how we need to like lower, the sexual drive of the young people. That's not going nowhere. That's natural. You know what I'm saying? That's natural. They already have that under control. As a matter of fact, we just watched it on Hidden Colors that the birth rate is negative to the speed of death. So they've got that under control already. What we need to control is we need to control the moral background. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just speaking on it, the pros and the cons of your choices and your actions, and a lot of black homes are missing that because they don't have both parents and they don't have both backgrounds of rules. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have a system of rules that you should live by. So, with that said, that's my thoughts on the part dealing with the young people. Like that's gonna handle itself. You know what I mean? God didn't make us like this by accident. So with that said, you know what I mean? There's nothing we could tell our children to make us, ignore our primal instincts. You know what I mean?
That's the excellent thing what you just said. The biggest challenge that we're facing, one of the biggest challenges, because of this system, that we have the black male not in the household. And the numbers are too high. So now, this old African proverb says that a woman could raise a boy, but not a man. That doesn't say that these queens are not doing good job, the best job they can to get the man, trying to make a man. But what happens is if you get a over nurturing factor of women in a man, a boy, you're gonna have a defective product. So these young guys come on the streets, they don't know how to be a man. They've been influenced by auntie, grandma, their mama, women mostly. So now what happens?
Okay.
I see what the product is. I'm dealing with them all the time. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so they like basically you can't just put it on the fact that they raised with women. It's men that influence. It's men that influence bad activity too. You know what I mean?
No, men get run out the homes, man. They get run away.
No, hold on a minute. Let me speak, because I had my father. I was raised with my father. You know what I'm saying? My mom died early. You know what I'm saying? I was raised with my father and my uncle, and I know they done taught me some things that ain't right. You know what I mean? But it's man stuff. It's man stuff. We supposed to be a man, and we gotta raise our chest. We gotta raise our voice and put our chest out when we talking to somebody. We gotta mean mug whoever's walking around. Everything that they taught me wasn't right. Punch the first person that say something so that everybody can know. You know what I mean? Everything he taught me wasn't right. But with that said, I was gonna go in and ask her a question, because what she was saying was really sparking a lot of interest with everybody, about how we should be somewhere speaking, right? And standing up for ourselves.
That's right.
Okay. So my question.
What were you saying?
Why I was really here?
Yes.
Because my whole existence means that we need to get more people in the room to start the conversation, to talk about what we do in our community about ourselves. Because we are the ones, when you're looking in the mirror and you say, well, we just need to get a leader. I hear too many kids. We need to have a leader out there. You are the leader. You are the one that's setting direction. If you're only working on your job, you're only completing the white man's mission, because he has a mission.
That's right.
And so if you have nothing that you do on your part-time hours to help lift someone else up, and you ain't got time, then you are satisfied with the status quo. And so each one of us has to empower another to understand that the oversight comes from the black community. And who is the black community? Right here in this room, as far as I'm concerned. If no one else is going to a public meeting and everybody else is sitting on a panel, there is no one else left.
Okay.
Because we cannot be penniless.
The power is in the people, like you are saying, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, you know, it's all a part of confusion, like how we're trying to tell each other, you know, not to reproduce. Like,
No. Let me stop.
No, it's what he's saying.
Let me finish first. Okay, so as that stands, you know what I mean? The power's in the people. We can speak until we blue in the face. Look, because, I mean, what are we going to change at a city council if we couldn't change nothing when we marched with Dr. King?
Things,
So
but
that
things.
everybody has a chance.
Yeah, but things
So
did
that-
change.
So that
Yeah.
everyone has a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Jamie.
That's the reason why I mentioned the vasectomy piece. Because I know they need something practical. They need something practical to put some protection on themselves. That's my point. You're gonna have to fend for yourself. You're gonna have to figure out a way to protect yourself.
That's individualism.
By getting a vasectomy, that puts some level of protection on you. You don't have to worry about some woman coming to you saying, I'm pregnant and you're the father. You can always get the vasectomy reversed. Doesn't have to be permanent. You know, you can find you a black general surgeon and get that procedure done. I'm not saying go out and do it. I'm just saying consider it. Think about it. Maybe do a little research on it. See if that might be something you might be interested in.
AIDS is real. AIDS is real. You need to control your own self, your own behavior.
You better put this in system, Diane.
Okay, well, you know, I always like to go back to my African roots because I do believe that ancient pre-dynastic times, you know, they figured out a lot of things. If you can travel to Sirius-B, I think you figured out how to run society. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of sexual energy and how to use it, you know, we got to go back to our African roots, is what I'm trying to say. Because what we don't understand in a westernized mind is that sexual energy is an energy, it's a natural force which is occurring at all times. And there are ways that have been passed down of how you're supposed to handle that energy. You know, if you was in your right consciousness, there would be no need for a vasectomy.
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying? So let's teach people how to be in their right consciousness so they are aware when they have sexual urges. Because every time you have a sexual urge, it may not necessarily mean you need to go have sex. It may mean you need to go do something creative. But if you don't know how to channel your energy, which is what Qigong teaches you, yoga teaches you, all these different modalities that came from African sages, you know, teach you how to use your energy. And that's what this society don't teach you. They teach you that you're an animal, right?
Yeah.
We came from monkeys, right? That's we have
That's what they say.
animal urges, right? Well, you know, according to the Moorish Quran, that's your lower self. That's the energy. It's called chi. It's an actual energy which exists on the planet. The scientists know about it. All energy can be manipulated. If you don't know how to manipulate your chi, then you're going to be a slave to your chi.
There you go.
That's why we got all these kids running around here, because you was a slave to your energy. You know what I'm saying? There's a wonderful book called The Science of Love. You know what I'm saying? And he speaks on the sexual energy. It's an electromagnetic force around your body.
That's right.
An electromagnetic force around your body. What is sex? It's just when two energies come together. Then on a scientific technical level, all of us in here right now have a circular energy field around us. The behavior of energy is it all comes together. So all our fields are together right now. So we got to direct that energy, and that's what that book called The Science of Love talks about. It talks about how you have to direct your energy.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So there's things you can learn how to do, you know, and that's why I always say go to that ancient knowledge, because, I mean, society and how society is supposed to run has been laid out by our ancestors several times. You know what I'm saying? So if we went through our rites of passages as young children, then you would be aware of your body. You would be aware of how to act and think, and you would make better choices. And I'm not necessarily sure if the queen was saying sustain completely.
Exactly.
I feel like she was more or less saying be aware of your energy. Be aware when maybe you may be being manipulated. So you just
by the media and all that.
Be more aware. Not to have it, but there's also a technique called holding your seed. You know what I'm saying? Now this is, you know, holding your seed. So that you're not just spending your seed out there. You know what I'm saying? And it goes into the book where it talk about when you do have sex, you either, on an energetic level, you either creating demons or angels. You know, based on your thought processes. So the more you become aware of your mind and you are more in control of your mind you gonna make better choices.
I agree.
And a lot of the issues we have
About
will
choices.
dispensate once we get here. I was telling somebody the other day, and then I'm not gonna talk no more, but I was telling somebody the other day, for black people,
Right.
the descendants of Africa, for us to come up, y'all don't understand how spiritual this is.
That's right.
As long as we are thinking in our lower selves,
That's right.
we ain't never gonna come up.
That's right.
We gotta be on the level of saints. Y'all gotta understand, you gotta understand where we gonna have to go to win this. Because these people, this Western society, is nothing but the lower self.
That's right.
Exactly.
We have got to elevate our consciousness, literally. I mean, we have got to enlighten if we are going to surpass the situation we are in. I don't think people have to conceptualize what I'm talking about. It's if we're ever going to survive, our consciousness, we have got to elevate and start thinking on the level of God body.
Thank
You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get back to who
think
we
that.
were. Excellent point, though. Let's give her a hand for that. That was excellent.